Our viewers, welcome. This is Thinkers Talk Show. It is where we believe that there is a positivity in every negativity. In our last episode, which was the 5th episode, we talked about alcohol in the family, and also we elaborated more on the difference between the church alcohol and the church wine and the alcohol that is being sold out there. And today, I want we talk about the disadvantages of taking alcohol. Those that are taking alcohol from their homes, what kind of teachings are they bringing to their kids? Are there some morals in them, or what is it that they are causing to those families? And today, on the bench here, we have great people of God whom we shall be sharing together with, as we also receive your questions about the alcohol and drugs. So from my left, I want us just to give them a minute each so that they can be able to introduce themselves as we continue with this session.
Hi viewers, I'm Julius Minor, and more to that, I'm saved. Christ is Lord in my heart. I'm proud to be today on the bench. Karibuni kwa show.
Hello viewers, I'm Reverend Majanga Charles, pastoring a church here in Kayole. God bless you.
Hello viewers, I'm Mary Njeri, youths feel represented. Welcome.
Thank you very much, our viewers. I am your host, Alan Ojiwa, and I love the Lord as my personal Savior. As I said before, that we want to talk about the disadvantages of alcohol. We see that many families are coming down as a result of alcohol. Many businesses are not going on because of alcohol. So I want just to pose the first question to our guest whom we have today. Because they are in a society whereby people are taking alcohol every now and then, are there some disadvantages that you have seen in the lives of those who are taking alcohol, maybe from the family level or from the community level? If I begin with our guest there, Julius.
Yeah, I believe we are living in a society that people are out there to drink, and I believe for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. That is what my physics teacher taught me, and I believe all the people who are taking alcohol in the society, at the end of the day, whatever it is they are doing, we have negative things that one would not wish to do. To begin with, we have a disadvantage number one. It is that of one not being able to fulfill his marital requirements. Especially when somebody gets so much into alcohol, I believe they are not able to perform. And therefore, just as we began in our earlier episodes about the roles of the family members, when we have a husband and a wife, and matters, sexuality are not to the right standards, I believe that family is not a family that is going up well. It's a family that is crumbling because there is no sexual satisfaction, and this is due to taking of too much alcohol. That is one disadvantage. Another one will be, especially when we have ladies taking alcohol, because even ladies nowadays, they are taking a lot of alcohols, especially when a lady is pregnant. I believe we also have some side effects on that child who's coming up in terms of development, and at the end of the day, how that child will end up being in the future. So those are some of the few disadvantages, but as we move on, I believe we'll be giving more.
Thank you very much, our guest, Mr. Julius. Let's hear from Reverend. Maybe you have come across those that are taking alcohol. Pengine hata ukihubiri Labda hata umewahi ombea mwenye amekunywa pombe na akaokoka. Hebu tuambie.
Hello viewers. These are some of the challenges that we are facing in our society every now and then. And there are these people that we encounter in churches, in our communities, in our nation, in the whole world as a whole. One, we need to spiritual challenge or spiritual health. That is the effect that I will start with as a pastor, that anybody who takes alcohol, it brings what we call spiritual side effect. When somebody is unhealthy spiritually, he cannot take the responsibility of his or her family. Responsibility in the sense that he cannot deliver to the family, to the society, to the community, and to the nation as a whole. Which means this one will lead to the family disintegration. And as you know, the church begins with the family at home. That's where we begin. And the nation will start or will begin from the family. Without a family, we cannot have a church. Without a family, we cannot have a nation. Without a family, we cannot have a country. So, alcoholism will bring this to the family, which will bring the economy of the family to a death's bed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mchungaji, for that information, that when we take alcohol, we are affected spiritually, we are also affected health-wise, and also we are affected development-wise. Let me hear from my sister here, Mary, who is a youth, and maybe share something concerning the issue of alcohol. So, Mary, welcome.
Thank you. In terms of youths, alcoholism in our society today, the youth are the main consumers of alcohol. It's proven even statistically. But when we have a lot of youths taking alcohol, where is our nation? Our nation will be managed poorly. One disadvantage that is full of One disadvantages that has taken our country is poor reasoning and poor management of funds. An alcoholic person cannot manage anything right. The second disadvantages of alcoholism is lack of labor force. When you have this Kazi kwa Vijana program in our country, you will see some of the youths being drunk, and it's early in the morning that they cannot even lift their jembes to do their work. They cannot even lift their spades to do their cleaning into our country. Where is our country being led by this alcoholism to youths? We have poor labor force. So alcoholism is a bad omen, bad effect to our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our sister, on behalf of the youths. And we have a question that has been raised by our viewers towards our guest. That nowadays, young people are being blamed for taking too much alcohol. And they come to realize that they are learning from the parents. The man in the family is coming late, fully drunk, and at times hata mama pia anaonja kidogo kwa sababu mzee anaonja. So what can you tell the young people who are saying that they are learning from the parents? Please, our guests.
I will wish to encourage our young people, just give them a bit of advice by saying that two wrongs do not make a right. When you are brought up by a parent who consumes alcohol, I believe that environment is not conducive. And those parents lack what we call the moral authority to tell you not to take alcohol. For example, if you are a parent and you've been drunk all years and you have your sons and daughters, when they become of age, when they become young people, it will be very hard for you as their father or their mother to tell them, do not take alcohol. The reason being, they saw you take it. So you lose the moral authority. But for young people, that is not a reason to say, my father used to take alcohol, I learned it from him or from my mother, I should also take the same course. Because out of them consuming, they did not raise you positively. My sister Jeria said, the moment parents are consuming alcohol, they do not raise their children well. So it means you as a young person, you are not raised well, you are not happy. And the reason as to why you are not raised well is because of the alcohol. So why should you also get there to follow the same trend? So it is my advice and my opinion that as young people, even if we've been raised in environments that are alcohol-based, we see the disadvantages of the same. And we should be the first people to run away from alcoholism by saying, I saw it with my parents. It was not good. I should not have it in my family. And you should shun it and say, let me do it for the and the future generations.
Thank you very much, our brother Julian. And I have a question kwa mchungaji. Amongst our viewers, we have those who are suffering, and especially ladies. They are saying that the man is always drunk. Akikuja kwa nyumba amelewa na ni saa 6 ya usiku, hawezi fanya majukumu ile ambao anafaa kufanya kwa kitanda. Paka imebidi wa mama wengine watafute nje. Wewe kama mchungaji, unaweza wapatia mawaidha gani? Kwa sababu wamama wanakufa ndani ya roho zao. Wengine wanakata mwezi moja kama mzee hajampatia haki yake. Wewe kama mchungaji, unaweza waambia aje?
Thank you, our viewers. That is a very good question and somehow challenging, because when it comes to marital status, there are two things that I'll talk about. Marriage is a God's plan. It's not a human plan. And the Bible says, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. And once you accepted the man that you are married to, it can be either, because we are talking about a man being drunken. We are looking on one side, but we have two sides here. There are those ladies who do take alcohol. So we should not just say it's a man who is taking alcohol.
Hata wanaume wananyimwa.
It will be somehow unbalanced discussion. We have those ladies who do take alcohol.
It's true.
And they cannot perform.
Yes.
So what can we say about it? What we can say, are we talking somebody who is this person is he or she saved or not? That is where I can start my discussion.
The community at large. Kuna mwenye
Okay,
hajaokoka
thank you.
na anakunywa pombe na anakuja kwa nyumba saa 6 ya usiku na hajaokoka.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whether saved or not, a marriage is a God's plan. That's what I know. So I'll start advising from there. And that's why I started with a spiritual and healthy. When somebody get drunkard, reason number one or side effect number one, he will be spiritually unhealthy. And once you are spiritually unhealthy, you'll go astray always. But once you are spiritually healthy, my brother, my sister, you will understand the weakness of your partner. And once you understand the weakness of your partner, you take that weak point to be your strong point, and you start advising him or her from the weakest point of her weak point. And that's what we call love. Love is not self-seeking. Love, you care for one another. You sacrifice for one another. You persevere for one another.
Kwa hivyo mchungaji unasema kwamba huyu mama hata kinyimwa haki yake miezi miwili avumilie tu.
Sijasema hivyo. Nimesema
umesema you sacrifice for one another. Kwa hivyo mama akinyimwa haki yake miezi miwili kwa kitanda,
what I'm saying,
avumilie miaka mbili, avumilie miezi miwili.
What I'm saying,
yes,
when you have your partner that is going astray, you came together for the good or the worse. When he is weak, you need to be strong to take him from the ground and assist him. And now he's on the ground because of alcohol. You need to stand in the gap and fight together. Advise her, vumilia kidogo, to change and transform your partner. Because if you say now it is like this, so you want to take away and break the marriage, where will be the children now? Now you have taken your stand. Where are your children? Children are the gift or the fruits of your marriage. And you need to take care of the fruit that you are given by God, because it is a God plan. I cannot advocate for the family to separate. No. A family to stand for one another for the better or the worse. When it comes to alcohol, it is you as a lady or as a man to change and transform your partner.
Thank you very much. So it is an obligation of the other partner kuhakikisha kwamba things gets well, and especially the person who is sober in that family should always stand up and even pray for the family, and even speak well of the family, so that they can be able to bring their children in a better way. So to our guest here, Mary, I know she has something to tell us, but we have a group of the young people outside there. They are crying so much, and they are saying, no, I cannot continue being in this family kwa sababu I'm tired kutoa baba yangu kwa mtaro, na akifika anapiga my mom always. What can you tell to that young person who is saying such kind of words?
Okay, before I say something, I would love to ask a question from our Reverend. He mentioned something to do, vumilia. You bear with your partner. How will the children be affected? Because when you say, my mom should bear with my dad, and we have seen the suffering she's going through, that we cannot even take it. And you're saying, be there for him and just bear with him. He will be well. How do you think children will take that? Will children be able to take that bearing of the parents? I think they will be suffering. How do you see that?
Thank you, and thank you for your question. It is a very good question, and I like it. One, it will depend how either a man or a wife, when you remain with your children, what do you talk behind either a man or a woman? Children will be divided when you talk to one against one another. That's what children will take in. They will say, even mama anasema, daddy does not provide. So it will start building inside them. And when the dad comes, whether he provides or not, they'll just think, this man is not responsible. He's irresponsible person. But once you talk, no, this is your dad. He's a very good person. But when you go behind the curtains, you will talk to your my dear, my sweetheart, please, this is not right. This is not. Love changes everything.
Thank you.
Love covers all. Love covers pain.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mchungaji.
Okay, to go on, the reason why I asked that is that we saw our mom being violated, and we were unable to bear that, because yes, our mom was sitting with us and telling us, my children, your daddy is a very good guy. He will do this and this and this for you. But we saw the other side. What did we see? Violence. As I've said, we could see our dad coming, and all of us will run under our beds because of fear. Fear was our driving force. But out of that, if you are a young person out there and your family is like that, you have to wake up. You can pray for them. Maybe your mommy or daddy is a drunkard. Pray for them. And also encourage your siblings. I am a firstborn. So, the thing I used to do when I saw my dad, I would tell my siblings, do you know what? You have the power in you. Your daddy's life is not your life. Your mommy's life is not your life. So you have the power in you. And that is where I came with this slogan, the power of an African young lady. I used to call myself like that. Like everything that will come across me, I can be able to tackle. And I was having this dream that when I grow up, I'll try to fight drunkardness because I know the pain children go through. So young people out there, you must be in the first line to fight this drunkardness, because alcoholism is wasting even our leadership. We've seen our leaders going to their meetings drunk. So reasoning is very poor when it comes to drunkenness.
Thank you very much, our sister, for that information, and especially even to the young people outside there. As we wind up this session, there is a question that I want to raise to our guests, and it's one of the points that are talking about the disadvantages of alcohol. In the Bible, we have a place whereby there was a man by the name Lot, and his daughters gave him alcohol to take. The man got drunk, and he slept with the daughters, and the daughters conceived. So to our guests, what do you say about that?
I believe that what you've talked about, the context comes from Genesis immediately after the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. I believe it's in Genesis chapter between 20 and 25 there, around 24, 23. And I want to say, from that story, there is a lot we can be able to learn. But first, I will not wish us to be critical. We say there is positivity in every negativity. When you look at the motive behind the two daughters, why they did that, it is because when the angel was told to escort them out of Gomorrah so that they cannot burn with the rest, they were given one condition: you go and do not turn behind. But their mother looked back and she turned to be a pillar of salt. Therefore, the two daughters and their father did not turn back, so they were safe out of the village. And now the daughters asked themselves, our mother, who is supposed to be a partner with our father, has turned to be a pillar of salt. Now what are we going to do so that we may be able to preserve our generation? Remember, the whole of Sodom and Gomorrah is in flames. They were the only people who were saved. Therefore, they saw the only worthy thing they would do is to give their father wine. The father was totally drunk, and they slept with their father for the purposes of continuation of their generation, which to me is very positive. But another thing, can we look at it from another point of angle? When they gave their father wine, he was not able to make proper judgment. And therefore, he was able to sleep with the daughters, which is not okay. I believe if Lot was sober, he would not have slept with the daughters. But by virtue of taking wine, he was not able to make good judgment. And therefore, he did something which was not right. Therefore, I will wish to say, at times, alcohol will make you make judgments that are not proper. And that is why we say, as sober as a judge. Why should a judge be sober? So that he can make decisions without any influence. And that's why we usually say he was under the influence of what? Alcohol. So the moment you are under influence, you are not able to make sober judgments.
Thank you
and
very
therefore,
much.
we should shun alcohol because it will make us make judgments which are not proper.
Thank you very much. Mchungaji, do you have something to add on what our guests have said?
Hello, viewers. When it comes to what you have just talked about, Lot's daughters, you find it is something immoral. That is immoral. And when things comes in an immoral way, you bring an immoral society. And even in the Bible, it is categorically very clear. The family that was brought up, it was an immoral society. Secondly, I want to make it clear, you cannot assist God to fulfill his plan. The ways of God are not the ways of man. When Lot's daughter, when Lot's wife had looked behind, God had a plan for them. And that's why we were created with God. And salvation is not a fashion, neither is it a system. Salvation is a plan of God. And once he saved the Lot's family from Sodom and Gomorrah, God had a plan. And God's plan was to be fulfilled. And because they wanted to assist God, that's why that family was immoral. It was not a proper community.
Thank
to
you.
say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our sister, do you have something to say concerning the issue of Lot and the daughters? Maybe young people are saying that is the best way to go. Ama wanasema aje kule nje?
Okay. There outside, I think the family of Lot is already in our society. Why? We are seeing brothers and sisters having children. You can imagine your dad being a drunkard, for example, is sleeping with you. And he surely knows that this is my daughter. And what is the result? Children that are maybe disabled, immoral. So alcoholism, it's not a good thing.
So as we wind up, we want to agree that we are bringing up a generation that is so immoral because of alcohol. We are bringing up a generation that is not responsible because of alcohol. And we as parents, we are also not performing our duties in the families as a result of alcohol. So to our viewers, we want to advise you that you need to stop taking alcohol because it will ruin your life. It will make you not progress. It will make you not proceed on with your family well. You are there, you are a man, and you are saying, I have finances, I can pay school fee, I can pay the house rent for my kids, I can do everything to my family. So even if I take alcohol, there is no harm to them. But we want to tell you that a time will come when even your children, they will emulate you. And whatever you are doing, that is what they will do in future. And please, wherever you are, get to know that you are bringing up a generation that will not bother on what they are doing to others. So our viewers, we thank you very much for keeping watch. And it is our humble prayer that we shall meet again in our next episode. So thank you very much, our viewers. Thank you.